What's going on, guys, man? Welcome back. It's your boy J4, and today we are officially upgrading the interior of this 2017 Ford F150, and we are going from a 8-inch screen to a 12-inch screen, kind of making this truck a little bit more modern, like the newer F150s that you see today. This is the CarABC Sync 3 8 to 12-inch screen upgrade kit for 2015 to 2020 F150s. So as you can see, this thing is pretty much installed. Still got some things I gotta put back in and get hooked up correctly, but there was an issue while I was doing this install. Everything is pretty much the same, but it functions pretty good. Now, I've had this install for about a week, but I haven't really been able to really test it as much because I'm trying to figure out this one issue that I have. So the issue I'm having since installing this system is now my climate control has stopped working. I have power to it, but the AC and all of those things are not working. But everything pretty much works good. It's the same old Sync 3.4 that's in your old stock F150 if you have 3.4. I'll go into that a little bit later in this video, but for now, let's just go ahead and get into this install. As you see, everything works normal before the install. Alright, so first thing first, of course, we need to disconnect the negative terminal from the battery just to be safe. Then we go on the inside, first tear off the center console speaker cover, then remove two 7mm screws. Next, using the pry tool to help remove the tray and set that off to the side. Then we have two 7mm screws to take out to remove the radio trim from the dash. But before removing the trim piece, you will notice you have a few wire harness connectors you need to disconnect, which are the hazard switch and the traction control at the top. And then below you have the radio and the HVAC controls. Next, we need to remove the 6 7mm bolts holding in the 8-inch screen. Alright. Then we remove the wire harness and the blue antenna cord and the USB cord. This right here is your APIM, and you will remove that from the screen. Next, remove your passenger side lower panel and then the driver's side panel. But first, on the driver's side, you will have to remove a 7mm screw. Then release the console shift to trim panel. This will allow us to remove both vent panels. You will have a few connectors to remove. Alright, now we go out back and we are set to remove the screws from the back of the radio trim. These screws will not be reused. Once you lift the cover off, you will have two circuit boards. Disconnect the two ribbon cables and then unscrew the screws to the circuit board to remove the circuit board from your stock trim panel. Then we lift out the volume and the tune knobs, and then of course the HVAC knobs below that. Next, take out the HVAC buttons. Then in the new CarABC system, drop in the tune and the volume radio knobs. Then drop in the radio circuit board and screw it in. Next, get the HVAC trim piece that CarABC provided and drop in your HVAC buttons and the knobs. Then after that, you drop in your HVAC circuit board on top of it and screw it in. Next, you will use 3 screws that CarABC provides, and you'll screw them into the bottom of the radio system. And reconnect your ribbon cables. And then lastly, screw down the metal bracket. Now we swap the APM onto the new bracket that CarABC provides, as well as plug in the new wire harness and the antenna connected. Then we connect the 12 volt and the AC outlet, the trailer backup assist, and the electronic locking diff onto the new trim panels that CarABC provides. And from there, everything should be all set. We can now insert the 12-inch screen into the dash, but before putting all the screws in, it is recommended to test everything out to make sure everything works properly. And this is where I noticed the issue I was having. The climate control were not working. Only the defrost will work. I could only control the defrost only on the screen and not the buttons below on the HVAC buttons. Once I noticed that I took the system out, unplugged everything, plugged it back in, also reset the battery for about 10-15 minutes, still nothing. And I even went as far as taking everything apart and basically restarting all the way over. Still nothing. That's when I decided I'll just replug in my stock unit, do everything, put my stock unit back in, and see how that works. And then that's when this happened. As you can see, the screen trying to adjust back to what it was stock. So I just put this together halfway just to kind of see and test everything out. All right, so now you see all the lights are on down here on my climate control. Now this brings questions to me like, is it, now they're still not working right now. Volume button still not working. Volume control, so I know the volume control is on my end for sure. Cut it off and then cut it back on. Yeah, I still don't have control to cut it off for whatever reason. Alright, so I just disconnect the battery for a brief second, and then I also disconnected this and replugged it back in. Let's see what it's gonna do real quick. Yeah, so it's definitely an issue with either my circuit board or those ribbons. It's one of those, so I'm gonna either have to try to buy or find a new circuit board or something. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Dang, man, this is crazy. Never had an issue with it beforehand until I did this install. Could it be the wiring? I don't know. But basically, I'm just gonna take all this back apart, put the big screen in, and I'll figure it out at some point. We'll just leave the whole thing out until I get this situated. I gotta figure it out though, because I can't even. It's too hot to be driving this truck. Well, I got my other car, so it's fine, but still, I want to be in my truck. But yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. See, now all the lights are on. So I mean, man, honestly, right now I really don't know what else to do. I've tried several different things to kind of try to figure it out, but right now nothing really seems to be working. So like I said, I've unplugged everything numerous times. I was looking up trying to find some information where I found some stuff like on a forum. Somebody said it could be the bliss, your blind spot rear tail light. So I did see that, and I didn't see any water leaks or anything where water could have slipped down and kind of caused some corrosion or anything. I didn't see any signs of corrosion. So I don't know what else it could be. I seen somebody say it's the MS can. Now I didn't really unplug that because I'm still trying to figure that out and kind of understand that, which I am gonna do that. That's my next route. What I'm gonna do, well, that's one of the next things I'm gonna do. The other thing is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get a PC. I'll go get a laptop because I'm a Apple kind of guy. I got all Apple products. Go buy me a PC, laptop used on Marketplace, and I'm gonna download Forescan to try to see if I could see something in the network. It'll tell me something that's kind of off or something. And I seen some other person where they say they did this and they pretty much, it kind of was a fix for them. Kind of went in and tweaked some things for them, and that kind of solved things for them. Who knows, that may be the case for me, might not be, but I think I would rather go that route first before thinking about buying a new, what they call a FICM. I don't want to, it sounds weird saying that. It's the FCIM. It's the front control interface module. I believe that's right. I'd rather go the Forescan route other than going that route first. So that's the plan right now. I don't know what else I'm gonna do. It's hot as I don't know what in this truck. I don't even know why I'm sitting in here doing this video. Also reached out to CarABC to see if they sent the right wire harness, or if they could send a new one possibly. I'm waiting on to get a response from them, but so far they've been pretty good with, they've been pretty fair with the response time. So I'm not necessarily blaming them, not necessarily blaming this unit, because this unit does look good. It does transform the interior of your vehicle. So and I think I might be the only person that had an issue so far. I'm not all the way sure on that, but it seems that way. So again, I'm not blaming them, nor am I saying it's my fault, because I did everything the instructions said. But what I do understand is that everything was working fine before I installed this unit in the truck. But I also understand that this truck is almost 10 years old, so things are kind of might have been on their way out. So you just never really know. But so yeah, man, I don't know, man. We'll figure it out, and when I do figure it out, I'll be sure to give you guys an update and let you guys know how everything, what was the solution, if I found a solution. But I know one thing, it's too hot to be riding with no AC. Good thing I have my other car. But like I said before, I do want to be in my truck. Again, man, the unit is good. It looks good. It's very simple. And the only thing you're really replacing is the screen, the 8-inch screen. Everything else is kind of like OEM. Some people have the Navigator Aviator splash screen. Mine says Ford. The only time mine says Aviator is when I'm cutting it off. That's the only time, but you can change that with Forescan. Another reason why I want to go ahead and get Forescan as well. But besides that, yeah, be sure to go check them out as well. It's a lot of people that had reviews on them. I don't think there are too many bad reviews on them. I'm not completely sure, but we'll see, man. Once I find a solution, I'll be sure to update you guys and come with another video just in case somebody else has this issue as well. But until then, catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.